be as inept and what not clueless.
Clueless.
I think Wanjala
No, but they were called by
should
the
use
president, not me.
a more parliamentary language,
Tell the president.
and we will make you to go and withdraw that
Tell
statement
the
at the
president
floor,
to withdraw
because
that one.
you must use civil language on your colleagues.
No.
The members of parliament of Kenya Kwanza, which all forms the majority, are not clueless. They were democratically elected through a basis of a manifesto on which the president was also elected, on which the governors of Kenya Kwanza were elected. And the manifesto is already government policy. And to make it work, we need legislation. We saw yesterday the successive conclusion and passage of the housing bill, amendment housing bill in the House. That is part of the business. So the president has every right to marshal his own troops in parliament. When you talk of separation of powers, it doesn't mean the sponsoring party ceases to function. It must function because the manifesto being implemented is a party manifesto in the first place, and the members are bound by the same. And the re-election in 2027 will be based on that manifesto. So you must do everything and anything, including legislation, policy support, so that it works. Take, for example, the diaspora jobs. We all know the revenue from the diaspora to the country is even far much higher than earnings from Kenyan export. And so the opportunity in the diaspora is in line with Vision 2030 to have the most competitive human resource in the world. Now, some jurisdictions, they want nurses. And the nurses, these positions, were properly advised, legally. They were advertised in the newspapers, in the media. So what Wanjala Raphael is trying to assert is mere speculation from a defeatist point of view. These vacancies were advertised, and any citizen of Kenya is eligible to apply. And you can see those who have been shortlisted are 500. There's still about 1,500 vacancies. So one of the big agenda of Kenya Kwanza is to create jobs for Kenyans, both locally and in the diaspora. And so when the president appraised members of parliament that, of course, there are these programs, are you not aware? It's a legitimate question because this executive was informing
that was an indictment to the president. If your own members of parliament are saying that we are not aware.
And they're right to say they are not aware if they are not aware. You don't lie. We are in a country. Those who are not aware is good. They stated they are not aware. And the Ministry of Labor was right there. And that is why they went to Naivasha to be informed. It is not possible to know everything that goes on in government. So let us not assume.
Now
and that is why
such meetings,
such meetings are key. Then lastly, such forums provide an opportunity for communication and sharing. That's what I know in organizing.
Lastly for you, so what next after Naivasha?
After Naivasha, members of parliament are more informed. Governors are more informed. There's more synergy in operation, and I'm sure members of the cabinet and PSS understand the views and feelings of the different parties, even as they run government. As you run government, you are running it in trust on behalf of the people.
Very good.
And with consultation, work will be more efficient, more effective. And lastly, the big item that might have featured is a National Dialogue NADCO report, which is key and which recommends reconstitution of IBC within the framework of NADCO. It is important that we have IBC so that we don't have a constitutional crisis. We should be ready for by-elections and ready for 2027 general elections and elections going into the future. The two-third gender rule, Parliament, both Senate and National Assembly, should comply with the constitutional requirement of two-third gender rule. And probably we may need more women in Parliament. The office of the official opposition should operate. It should be allowed to operate so that after every election, we don't have unnecessary and uncalled for political crisis. We must be a country that support leaders, both those in government and both those in opposition, using legitimate avenues, either legislation,
very good.
constitution,
Thank
and
you.
of course that of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. So as you can see, a lot has come out. And a lot will come out.
Sossion, we
The
didn't come
country
here for you to
must
lecture us.
stabilize.
Thank you.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel so bad with hard facts. Don't feel so bad with hard facts.
Because what you are talking about just irritates us.